Welcome to Ancient Secrets and Haunted Journeys. My name is Jessica, and I am a passionate seeker of history's hidden chapters, mysteries that linger in the shadows, and the inexplicable phenomena of the paranormal world. My fascination with the past, the enigmatic, and the otherworldly has led me on countless journeys through time and space, uncovering secrets long whispered in the corridors of the forgotten and the abandoned. In this captivating season, we take a departure from our usual expeditions across various haunted locales. Instead, we anchor our curiosity at one extraordinary site, the RMS Queen Mary. This legendary ocean liner, a behemoth of history and mystery, will be our sole focus, our solitary journey through the annals of time and the spectral realms. From the elegance of the Lady in White to the playful echoes of Little Jackie, from the heart-wrenching tales of wartime sacrifice to the eerie stillness of her abandoned decks. Every episode will unveil a chapter of the Queen Mary's storied past, intertwined with encounters that challenge the boundaries of our understanding. So, I invite you, my fellow aficionados of the arcane, to join me on this singular expedition aboard the RMS Queen Mary. History, mystery, and the paranormal converge in a tapestry of tales as deep and fathomless as the ocean herself. This is Ancient Secrets and Haunted Journeys. Let the voyage into the unknown commence. Welcome, listeners, to the first episode of Season 2 of Ancient Secrets and Haunted Journeys. Today, we cast off on the moorings of the present and voyage into the depths of history and haunting. Our subject is none other than the RMS Queen Mary, a vessel that has captured the imaginations and hearts of many. Picture her, a paragon of nautical excellence, her decks echoing with the footsteps of the elite, her engines powering the vessel forward as she embarks on her maiden voyage in 1936. This voyage is not just through the Atlantic, but through time and space, where history and myth intertwine. As we explore the intricate details of her construction, the passion and ambition embedded in her steel framework, we also step into a world where the past refuses to remain silent. The Queen Mary is more than just a ship. She is a storyteller, a keeper of secrets. Her polished halls and grand ballrooms are not just architectural marvels, but a backdrop to countless stories, some seen, some unseen. Among these tales is the haunting of the Lady in White. Envision her, a spectral figure, draped in elegance. Her presence as enigmatic as it is chilling. She is said to wander the Queen's Salon, her steps silent, her story a whispered legend that has traversed decades. Join us on this journey of discovery, where every creaking floorboard and gust of ocean wind might just hold a story waiting to be unveiled. The 27th of May, 1936, dawned with a sense of anticipation that was almost tangible in the air above Southampton. It was a day marked for history, a day when the illustrious RMS Queen Mary would commence her maiden voyage. Crowds swarmed the docks, their faces a mosaic of excitement, pride, and awe. This was not merely the launch of a ship, it was the birth of a legend. Her hull, a colossus of steel, gleamed under the English sun as if she too was aware of the eyes upon her. The Queen Mary stood ready, her superstructure soaring, a marvel of maritime engineering. The chatter of the onlookers rose in a crescendo as the time to set sail drew near. Their words, a blend of various dialects, united by the common thrill of the spectacle. The ship's interiors were a palace on the sea, a testament to the grandeur of age. Her corridors were lined with the finest wood, her staterooms dressed in the richest fabrics. As the first passengers stepped aboard, they were enveloped in an opulence that transcended their traditional boundaries of travel. The Queen Mary promised more than a journey. She offered an experience, a sojourn into the realms of luxury and elegance. The blast of her horns signaled the departure, a deep, resounding note that seemed to resonate with the heartbeat of every spectator. As the Queen Mary slipped her moorings, she carried with her the aspirations of a nation, the pride of a people determined to showcase their prowess in shipbuilding and naval engineering. As she began her stately progression through the waters, the Queen Mary was an emblem of human aspiration, her presence commanding the waves to part before her. The crowd watched, breathless, as the liner embarked on her first voyage, her silhouette a receding symbol of man's quest to conquer the vastness of the seas. Aboard the Queen Mary, the passengers settled into a world where the worries of the land were left behind. The ship was a floating city, a microcosm of society where the elite rubbed shoulders with dreamers and adventurers. The rhythm of life on the ocean was different, dictated by the swell of the waves and the ship's steady advance. The first evening at sea was marked by a gala, a celebration in the ship's illustrious ballroom. Music filled the air, a lively tune that invited even the most reserved to dance. The Queen Mary was alive with the sound of orchestras, the clinking of champagne glasses, and the laughter of children exploring the nooks and crannies of the ship. As the Queen Mary surged across the North Atlantic, the passengers were treated to a spectacle of nautical efficiency. The crew, a corps of seasoned professionals, operated the liner with a precision that was seamless. The ship's captain navigated with an expert hand, his eyes fixed on the horizon, his mind attuned to the challenge of the crossing. In those moments, the Queen Mary was more than a ship. She was the embodiment of progress, a beacon of the Art Deco era, and a floating symbol of hope in an uncertain world. She carried with her not just the physical weight of her construction, but the dreams and aspirations of an era that sought to leave its mark through feats of engineering and the spirit of exploration. As the shores of England faded into memory and the open sea embraced the Queen Mary, there was a collective sense that this was the dawn of a new chapter in maritime history, a chapter that would be told and retold for generations to come, of a ship that was not only a vessel, but a testament to the indomitable human spirit seeking new horizons. The RMS Queen Mary was an emblem of progress, a jewel of the Cunard White Star Line, embarking on her maiden voyage with the promise of unparalleled speed and luxury. This floating palace, with her streamlined Art Deco elegance, had captured the world's imagination long before her engines roared to life, setting a new standard for ocean travel. On board, the experience was one of opulent splendor. From the grand dining rooms adorned with crystal and silver to the sumptuous cabins that whispered of comfort and privacy, every detail was meticulously crafted. The ship's art and furnishings spoke of a world where travel was not just about moving from one place to another. It was an event, a grand affair that catered to the tastes of the affluent and the adventurous alike. As the Queen Mary sliced through the Atlantic, she did so with a grace that belied her massive size. Her passengers cocooned within her luxurious embrace, were privy to an experience that few on land could dream of. There were salons and smoking rooms where gentlemen discussed politics over brandy and cigars, and opulent ballrooms where ladies in evening gowns glided across the dance floor, their laughter mingling with the strains of a live orchestra. Day by day, the ship's record-breaking pace was not just a technical achievement, but a marvel that guests could feel. A rhythmic pulse, a tangible vibration of speed and power. The Queen Mary was not merely traversing the ocean, she was redefining the very concept of travel. The liner's designers had envisioned a ship that would be the epitome of high society and technological advancement, and they had realized that vision with aplomb. The onboard amenities reflected the era's fascination with both comfort and spectacle. There were swimming pools and squash courts, a library for the contemplative, and even a small hospital. The Queen Mary was a self-contained world, a microcosm of sophistication, where the elite could indulge in the pleasures of the age, while being transported at speeds that previous generations could scarcely have imagined. The first-class dining room was the heart of the ship's social life, a palace where passengers gathered under a grand ceiling painted with scenes of the sea. Here, the finest chefs prepared dishes that rivaled those of the greatest European restaurants, and the service was impeccable, each meal an affair to remember. As night fell, the ship became a beacon of light and activity in the dark expanse of the ocean. The cocktail lounges buzzed with conversation, the air thick with the promise of new friendships and romances sparked under the influence of the ship's magic. Every evening was an event. Every moment aboard the ship, a memory in the making. The Queen Mary's maiden voyage was not just a journey. It was a declaration of the zenith of luxury travel. In her wake, she left a trail of stories and memories, tales of the splendor and speed that would become the stuff of legend. The Queen Mary, in her unassailable elegance, had set a new course for the future of ocean liners, a course that promised that the journey could be as spectacular as the destination itself. The RMS Queen Mary's maiden voyage was a demonstration of power and prestige, a journey that would set her apart from all who had come before her. She was not merely a vessel, but a symbol of industrial might, a showcase of Britain's resilience and innovation in an age of transatlantic travel marked by fierce competition. This spirit of rivalry was ingrained in the very essence of the Queen Mary. The anticipation of her performance on the maiden voyage was palpable among the passengers and crew. Whispers of her potential to outshine her predecessors rippled through the salons and staterooms, igniting a collective sense of pride and expectation. The Queen Mary's journey was a quiet battle against her own predecessors, a contest not just of speed, but of grace under the relentless push and pull of the sea. With each mile conquered, she was staking her claim to a legacy that would outlive her maiden voyage. The challenge she faced was not clocked by the ticking of a stopwatch, but by the enduring mark she would leave on maritime history. On board, the ship's luxury was matched only by the smoothness of her sail. The Queen Mary glided across the waters with a poise that belied the powerful forces propelling her forward. Her engines, marvels of the age, operated with a hum that spoke of strength without ostentation. It was as if the ocean itself had come to respect the prowess of this grand ocean liner. As the Queen Mary neared the end of her journey, the sense of having witnessed something extraordinary began to settle in the hearts of those aboard. The ship had performed splendidly, her voyage a testament to the culmination of years of design, craftsmanship, and the untiring pursuit of maritime excellence. The triumph was not in a title or a record, but in the realization of a dream that had been carefully crafted and brought to life. The Queen Mary had proven herself not only as a luxurious haven for her passengers, but also as a titan of the seas, a ship that would come to define an era of oceanic travel. Her arrival in the bustling port of New York was met with fanfare and celebration. The Queen Mary had completed her maiden voyage, but the achievement was not merely in the crossing itself. It was in the affirmation that she had set a new benchmark for elegance and efficiency at sea. This maiden voyage would become a cornerstone of the Queen Mary's storied life. The first of many voyages where she would carry the torch of innovation and luxury across the Atlantic. Her rivalry was with history itself, a challenge to be remembered not as a footnote, but as a chapter that would be revisited and revered by generations to come. The legacy of the Queen Mary was being written in the hearts and minds of those who walked her decks, a narrative of human endeavor and the relentless pursuit of perfection. She had triumphed, not against rivals of flesh and steel, but against the very limits of what had been deemed possible. In the quiet resplendence of the Queen's Salon, amid the fading echoes of past celebrations, there lingers a presence as enigmatic as the RMS Queen Mary herself, the Lady in White. Her form is glimpsed in the periphery, a fleeting vision in the elegance of her flowing gown, a spectral reminder of the ship's storied legacy. The Salon, once the heart of the ship's vibrant social life, now plays host to this genteel apparition. Patrons and staff have recounted tales of a figure draped in white, her demeanor as serene as the music that once filled the room. She is the embodiment of the ship's bygone era, a figure that commands the same reverence as the opulent surroundings she haunts. The Lady in White's origins are shrouded in the mists of the ship's history. Some say she was a first-class passenger, a woman of grace and beauty, who graced the dance floors during the Queen Mary's golden age. Others whisper of a lover lost at sea, her spirit tethered to the vessel that symbolizes the great voyages of her life. Her appearances are not marked by clinking chains or chilling drafts, but by a softness, a whisper of silk against the polished floors, a murmur of movement where there should be stillness. The Queen's Salon, with its Art Deco flourishes and grand piano, still resonates with the echoes of a time when it was alive with the sound of orchestras, the clinking of champagne glasses, and the genteel laughter of high society. The Lady in White is not a haunting to fear, but one to marvel at. She is a gentle reminder of the Queen Mary's majestic beginnings, a muse that inspires tales of elegance and poignancy. Visitors drawn to the Salon have felt a sense of peace, a connection to the ship's glamorous past as they witness her silent vigil. Her presence is as intangible as it is undeniable, a dance of light and shadow that plays across the rich tapestries and gilded frames. Witnesses describe a sense of being watched by kind eyes, of a figure that moves with the grace of a bygone age. It is as if the Lady in White is a custodian of the ship's memories, a keeper of the stories that are woven into the very fabric of the Queen Mary. The Lady in White's hauntings are whispered about with a reverence that befits her. She is not a tale of terror, but one of nostalgia, a vision that bridges the gap between the living and the echoes of the past. Her sightings are as much a part of the ship's voyages as the logbooks and the compasses. She is an elegant enigma, her dance with the spectral a performance that captivates and enchants. And so, the Queen Mary Salon remains a hollowed space where the past lingers, where the air is thick with the history of countless crossings. Here, the Lady in White continues her eternal ballroom dance. Here, the Lady in White continues her eternal ballroom dance, a silent testament to the ship's majestic beginnings, a ghostly grace that endures as the RMS Queen Mary sails through the annals of time. The Queen's Salon aboard the RMS Queen Mary, a room of palatial grandeur and historical significance, serves as the stage for an otherworldly waltz. Here, the Lady in White, an apparition of grace and mystery, holds court in the hallowed realm of the spectral. Her presence, woven into the ship's fabric, dances on the edge of the visible, a phantasmal ballerina in the ship's eternal ballroom. Her sightings are more than mere ghost stories. They are intricate narratives that breathe life into the silent spaces of the Queen Mary. The Lady in White is seen gliding across the dance floor, her movements a fluid echo of the ship's maritime ballet. She is an aristocrat of the afterlife, her every step a hauntingly beautiful reminder of the ship's vibrant past. The encounters with her are profoundly personal, described by witnesses as moments suspended in time. She is the centerpiece of a tableau vivant, her spectral figure bathed in the soft light that filters through the salon's ornate windows. With an elegance that defies the limitations of the corporeal, she dances alone, her form a whisper of silk and the memory of music long since faded to silence. The Lady in White's dance is an invitation to the past, a silent call to those who witness her to remember the ship in its heyday. As the Queen Mary now rests, her engines quiet, the salon empty of the living, the lady dances on, her presence a bridge between epochs and her silence a poignant melody of nostalgia. Passengers of the past recounted evenings of grandeur, the air alive with the sound of a live orchestra, the laughter and chatter of the elite. The Lady in White, as though a remnant of those nights, continues the ritual, her dance an homage to a bygone era of elegance and romance. The ship's storied history is reflected in her spectral movements. Each twirl a reminder of a crossing, each step a story, and each pause a memory etched into the Queen Mary's lore. The Queen's Salon, her chosen haunt, is a theater of memory where the past is replayed in silent reverence. Guests of the Queen Mary today are drawn to the Queen's Salon, some with the hope of catching a glimpse of her ethereal performance, others simply to bask in the ambiance of a room that has witnessed so much. To encounter the Lady in White is to witness a piece of living history, a manifestation of the ship's soul. As the sun sets and the shadows lengthen, the Lady in White's visage becomes more pronounced. She is a vision of what once was, a reminder that the RMS Queen Mary is more than a collection of rooms and corridors. She is a repository of human experiences, a vessel that carries the weight of her own legend. The dance of the Lady in White is an enduring spectacle, a testament to the RMS Queen Mary's indelible imprint on the tapestry of maritime history. In her spectral dance, the ship's legacy is kept alive, a perpetual motion that ensures the Queen Mary and her ethereal inhabitant will be remembered for generations to come. Within the time-worn elegance of the RMS Queen Mary's Queen Salon, under the glow of Art Deco fixtures dimmed by the passage of time, the lady in white conducts her endless waltz. Her dance is a spectral ritual performed in the silence of the room she has claimed as her own. The Salon, once a space vibrant with the footsteps of the living, now resonates with the quiet grace of her eternal ballroom. The lady in white, draped in her timeless gown, is an enigma wrapped in the shroud of the ship's rich narrative. She dances alone, her form both here and not here, a visual echo that speaks of continuity between the Queen Mary's illustrious past and its present stature as a monument to maritime heritage. As the ship lies anchored, her voyages across the sea a distant memory. The Queen's Salon continues to play host to this elegant phantom. The lady's presence is as much part of the ship as the planks that form her decks and the rivets that bind her hull. She is an enduring symbol of the Queen Mary's legacy, a legacy that extends beyond the tangible and into the realm of the mystical. The dance of the lady in white is not merely a movement through space, but a journey through time. She is the keeper of memories, each step a chronicle of laughter and celebration, of farewells and reunions. Her silent music is the heartbeat of the ship, a rhythm that speaks of continuity of a past that refuses to be forgotten. The eternal ballroom she inhabits is a place where the boundaries between yesterday and today blur. Guests who witness her dance are transported to a time when the Queen Mary was a queen of the seas, a floating palace of dreams and aspirations. The lady in white is the bridge to those halcyon days, her dance an invitation to glimpse the ship's soul. Her presence begs the question of why she remains. Is she anchored to the spot by a moment of profound joy, or perhaps by a tale of unrequited love? Theories abound, but her true story remains her secret, locked within the silent music to which she dances. What is clear is that her essence is inseparable from the ship's own spirit, her spectral elegance a hallmark of the Queen Mary's enduring allure. The lady's dance is timeless, unending, a performance that continues regardless of the hour or the audience. It is as if she dances for the ship herself, for the joy of the elegance that refuses to fade, for the celebration of history that will not be silenced. In the eternal ballroom of the Queen's Salon, the lady in white ensures that the Queen Mary is more than a relic. She is a living museum, a keeper of stories, a vessel where the past is not merely remembered, but is vividly alive. Her dance is an elegant defiance, a statement that though the ship may no longer cut through the waves, her heart beats strong in the rhythm of the lady in white's ceaseless ballet. As our journey on the RMS Queen Mary comes to a close, the echoes of the past linger in the air. We have traversed the majestic beginnings of this grand vessel, witnessed her glory days, and felt the chill of the lady in white's spectral presence. But this is merely the first chapter in a saga that spans oceans and decades. Today, we walked the polished decks of the Queen Mary, felt the pulse of history in her grand ballrooms, and glimpsed the shadows that dance just beyond the corner of our eyes. We've seen how a ship, meant to be a symbol of human achievement, can also be a vessel for stories that transcend the ordinary, where the lines between the living and the ethereal blur. As the haunting melody of our tale fades, let us look ahead with anticipation. In our next episode, the Queen Mary continues her journey, not just as a luxury liner, but as a holder of a prestigious title, the Blue Riband. This accolade is not just a testament to her speed and elegance, but also a prelude to the darker chapters of her journey. And in the eerie silence of the first-class swimming pool, a different kind of echo awaits us. The ghostly whispers of little Jackie. Who is she? Why do her whispers still linger in the air? These questions and more will unravel as we continue our exploration of the Queen Mary's haunted legacy. Stay with us as each episode unravels more layers of this intricate tapestry of history and mystery aboard the RMS Queen Mary.